Okay, so we're gonna be going over ELA notes. So if you guys are ready, let's get started. So I know I don't have an exact video camera thing, but I try my best to project it. To show you guys it all. And all of this is from Khan Academy and it's not copyrighted. I am doing this for my own, what should you call it, for my own review. So let's start off with phrases overview. Actually, let's do it like this. This is way better. Okay. So phrases overview. So prepositional phrases, they always start with the preposition and end with the next noun. They are the object of preposition and noun that ends in a prepositional phrase, and they act like an adjective or an adverb. So let's refer to prepositional phrases. What are prepositions? Well, prepositions, some examples are about, before, during, off, toward, above, behind, except, on, under, across, below, for, onto, underneath, etc. So basically, it's just words that describe where an object is. And so how can you remember all of these? Remember cat in the box. So what is the cat? Let's use this pen for example. So we have a pen here. So where is the pen? On the table. On is the preposition. The whole prepositional phrase is on the table. Now where is let's see, where is it now? Beside the clear thingy. So let's just that helps you know what prepositions are. And we have another example is sometimes I hide toy dragons on the pantry shelf by the box of Oreo cookies. So there is a lot of prepositions here. On the pantry shelf, on, and the whole phrase is on the pantry shelf. By and by the box and of the Oreo cookies. Remember, adjectives modify nouns and pronouns, adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. On the pantry shelf, it modifies or describes hide, and by the box modifies hide also, and of Oreo cookies modifies the box. And this is kind of like a graph. Moving on to a positive phrases. So this is phrases overview, so we're going to be going over a lot of phrases. So what are a positive? They are a noun or a noun phrase identifying or naming previous nouns. It includes a positive or any modifiers. Example, my teacher, Mr. Jays, needs to calm down. Mr. Jays renames teacher. Another example, Franny, my sister-in-law, takes nice photos and sells them. My sister-in-law, it kind of describes or names the Franny and it identifies who she is. And it could be a whole phrase like this. Moving on to verbal phrases. Verbals are a word looking like a verb but acts like something else. A participle phrase looks like a verb but acts like an adjective. The phrase stands with participles but may include object and modifiers, and most will. There are present particles, they often end in ing, or there are past particles, they often end in ed. And remember, in particles, you can part them, meaning you can remove to make the sentence make sense, and you have to ask yourself, can it stand alone without the phrase? Example, running like the wind, Twiggy caught a chipmunk. So running like the wind, and running is the verbal. The whole verbal phrase is running like the wind. It describes Twiggy. Moving on, another type of verbal phrase is a gerund, or gerund parentheses phrase. It looks like a verb but acts like a noun. It always starts with a gerund and may include objects and modifiers. It always ends in ing. Tip. Often gerund phrases can be replaced with words like this, that, someone, or something. Example, Mr. Hepworth enjoys painting his face and chasing small animals underneath a full moon. Painting his face is a direct object. and it continues the sentence on. And painting his face can replace something like this or that with something this or that. Small animals is a direct object too. And also what gerunds can do. They could be a subject which starts a sentence, a direct object which follows action verb. It is the thing being verbed. It could be the predicate nominative that follows the linking verb, or it could be the object or preposition that follows. And people debate on whether indirect object works, but most people say that indirect object is a gerund and it can do something like a gerund. Indirect object, it follows an actual verb coming between the subject and the direct object. Moving on to infinite phrases. So it is always to plus a verb, and it looks like a verb but can act like an adjective, adverb, or noun. It starts with an infinitive and may include objects and modifiers. Example, to survive English class with Mr. Hepworth, you must steer yourself against his horrible face. To survive English class with Mr. Hepworth is the adverb. Another example is Mr. Hepworth's dark school likes to suck the warmth from the room. To suck the warmth from the room is a noun and is an infinitive phrase. It can be a noun replacing it with this, that, or someone, or something. It can be an adverb that often can be moved around the sentence, front or back. It can be an adjective. If not noun or verb, it might be an adjective. Moving on to the next set of notes. So we're going to go ahead and look at pronouns. So you might ask, what are pronouns? Well, pronouns, as you know, is basically specific nouns. Pronoun antecedent agreement. Pronouns must agree with their antecedents in number, gender, or person. The noun or pronoun that a pronoun replaces or refers to. Example, many students study for their exams. The antecedent is student and there is a pronoun describing students. As I mentioned before, they could be gender, number, or person. So first of all, if it's a number, if antecedent is singular, use a singular pronoun. For example, the girl went to her locker. B. If antecedent is plural, use plural pronoun. Example, the students went to their lockers. Collective nouns. Rule. If it acts together, it's singular. So if it acts together, the verb is singular. If it acts as individuals, the verb is plural. For example, the orchestra will give its final performance. Now, the example, the orchestra will have tuned up their instruments. The second sentence is the plural one. The first one is the singular one. Compound subjects. Rule. Parts joined by an equals pronoun plural. Parts joined by or nor means that the pronoun agrees with the closest part. For example, Maria and Denise played their instruments. Neither the conductor nor the musicians have taken their place on stage. To gender. Gender of a pronoun must be the same as gender of its antecedent. Example, Mary bought her supplies. Important notes, if antecedent is either male or female, use his or her. So you have to say his or her thing is right here or something like that. Also, it is best if his or her, he or her is not overused. Instead, make it plural. For example, all the musicians play their solos. Lastly, person. Person of a pronoun must match the person of its antecedent. Example, all of the students should bring your books. No, should bring their books. Remember, you always use singular pronouns when you use another, anybody, anyone, anything, each, either, everybody, everyone, everything, much, neither, nobody, no one, nothing, one, somebody, someone, something. Always use plural pronouns when using several, few, both, many. You can use either singular, plural, or depending on the context, all, any, more, most, none, or some. Common errors. Everyone brought their lunches. One of the musicians played their trumpet off key. It should be one of the musicians played his or her trumpet off key. Everyone brought their lunches. Yeah. Pronouns in comparison. It can be made by using then or as to begin, but full clause doesn't have to be completed. Example, he is much stronger than I am strong. Moving on to objective and nominative pronouns. So personal pronouns, number one is nominative form, used when a pronoun function as a subject or predicate nominative. Example, she is a doctor. A word in the predicate referring to the subject follows a linking verb. Second, objective form. It is used when the pronoun functions as a direct object, indirect object, or object of preposition. So for direct and indirect object phrase, it follows an active verb. For example, he gave me a book. So for subject and predicate nominatives, nominative pronoun forms I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. A hint is that it determines which clause to use. Try pronoun alone in the sentence. Example, Pooh Bear and I sing a song. So you have to remember, is it I or me? Objective pronoun forms me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them. Direct objects follow action verbs and answer what or whom. Example, Pooh Bear called her. Pooh called whom? Indirect objects come between action verbs and their direct objects answer whom or for whom. Example, Pooh lent me his bandana. Lent it to whom? Object of a preposition, noun or pronoun that follows preposition. Example, Pooh Bear gave his heart to her. It's better than us. Possessive clause. Possessive pronouns my, mine, your, yours, his, her, hers. It's our, ours, their, theirs. May be used in place of noun. Example, mine isn't as cool as Pooh Bear's. Mine is the subject. These may be used as adjectives. Example, his fuzzy coworker eventually became his wife. It modifies coworker. Who versus whom notes. Nominative, who, whoever. Possessive, whose, whosever. Objective, whom, whomever. Who or whom can be used to ask questions or to introduce subordinate clauses. For who, it is used as subject or predicate pronoun follows linking verb. For subject, who wrote the song This Land Is Your Land? Predicate, the writer was who? And for questions, it is used for whom used as direct or indirect object of verb or an object of preposition. Direct object, whom did you ask? Object of a preposition. From whom did you get the information? Choosing who or whom, to whom are you asking? Number one, we write the question as a statement. Who or whom are you speaking to? You're speaking to who or whom. 2. Figure out whether the pronoun is a subject, an object, and predicate nominative, or an object of a preposition. 2 is a preposition. Who in subordinate clauses contains subject or verb but doesn't express complete thought and can't stand alone. Who should be used when pronoun function as subject of a subordinate clause. Example, Pete Seeger is a singer who cares about the environment. Subject is who, verb is cares. Whom in subordinate clauses. Whom should be used when pronoun functions as the direct object, indirect object, or object of preposition. Direct object, example, Bob Dylan is one singer whom Pete Seeger influenced. And that is it. Sorry, not that is it. We have one more. This is subject-verb agreement notes. So, 1 second. Continuing on. Subject-verb agreement notes. Depends on how they're used. They can be used as subjects. Some indefinite pronouns are always singular, some are always plural, or some are either plural or singular. Singular pronouns that take singular verbs. Another, anybody, anyone, anything, each, either, everybody, everyone, everything, much, and neither. Someone, nobody, no one, nothing, one, something, and someone. Example: everyone has a good idea on how to solve the problem. Plural pronouns that always take a plural verb: both, few, many, several. Example: both of my friends are nice. Pronouns that are either singular or plural: they are all, any, more, most, none, some. Example: all of the students are late. Plural versus singular. Collective nouns. Sometimes they can be considered singular or plural. Rule: if collective noun, the team, group, audience, etc., act together, the verb is singular. If they act separately, the verb is plural. Example: the class as one unit agrees that we shouldn't have homework over the weekend. The class as individuals have different opinions on how to finish the work. Nouns that are plural in form. Some nouns ending in s or x appear to be plural, but they are actually singular. For example, mathematics, politics, civics, and news. Some words ending in x can be sometimes plural. Example: the candidates' ethics are questionable. For titles and numerical amounts, titles of words of art, literature, or film or music are singular. Example: Star Wars is my favorite movie. Words, phrases referring to weights or measures, numbers, or lengths of time are usually singular. For example, $10,000 is too much for that car. Fractions: 3/4, 5/8 is singular or plural depending on context. Example: 3/4 of the class falls asleep while the teacher provides grammar notes. 3/4 refers to the class singular, and all of the notes are based on plural versus singular. Now moving on to special sentence problems. To check argument in special sentences, rewrite them to put subject and verb in correct order. Questions: verb will be split or come after the subject. Example: do you miss sentences about Pooh Bear? You do miss sentences about Pooh Bear. Here are their sentences. Example: there are many boring sentences in the grammar book. Many boring sentences are there in the grammar book. Inverted sentences. In inverted sentences, the subject follows the verb. Example: to get out of the sordid life on the street struggled Pooh Bear. Pooh Bear struggled to get out of the sordid life on the streets. Predicate nominative. In sentences with predicate nominative, the verb must agree with the subject, not the PN. Example: Pooh's most exciting experience at work is the paydays. Adjective clause. Verb in adjective clause must agree with the word related pronoun or clause refers to. Example: Pooh Bear, who works for the telemarketing company, is our friend. And that is it for ELA notes. I'll go ahead and try making the website fast and post all these notes on there in case you need to look at these. And they are all from Khan Academy. I'm not copyrighting them. They are theirs, but I just wrote it for a better understanding. And thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have a nice day. Bye.